Hi, and welcome to the seventh episode of my bodybuilding vlog. Time flies really fast. I am 28 days post my first show, and to be honest, I don't even know now how many days out am I. So I don't want to start episode on the sad news, but I kind of have no choice because everything that is going to be said later on is interconnected. So, long story short, my dream of getting a pro card this season is shattered. And it's not because I lost the competition, because I've been completely misinformed on the roadmap that I have to take in my current situation towards being able to get my pro card. To give a full overview of what happened, and I want to make sure that it's clear that I'm not trying to put a blame on anyone, but this is the situation that happened. So after I won my first competition, which was a state level competition, my plan was to compete in the national and later on in the international in November. The reason why I decided to go for those two competitions is that I wanted to make my shape better. I wanted to improve, I wanted to work more on my quads, I wanted to work more on my posing. Anyway, the roadmap that I was provided by the federation, by the local federation here in Mexico, prior to signing up to any of the competition was following. First, I have to do the regional, optional. Next, compulsory, I have to do the state selection, which I did. After that, I have to do the national, and then I can do the international, which is the pro qualifier. I was given a list of all events that are happening. Out of all those events, the only international event I was informed about was the one between 10th and 11th of November, which was supposed to be two events in one, which is Copa Esmeralda and the Diamond Cup. And the Diamond Cup was supposed to be the one that is a pro qualifier. By looking at all this picture, obviously I decided to go for the national that is closer to the international because I have to do international regardless. So I'd rather take the time and prepare and then do two important ones back to back. That's why I decided to do one in September and the other two in November, leaving a really long break in between. And now I understand why such a long break is like really bad idea. Anyway, so because of that, that was my roadmap that I drew for myself. And 2 weeks after my first show, I started inquiring about further information about the time, the venue, so I can do arrangements for both of the shows that are happening in November. And in that conversation, I've been told that the pro qualifier, which is the Diamond Cup, is canceled for this year, so it's not gonna happen. Of course, I was like super heartbroken because that was the event on which I was planning to receive my pro card by winning it. And at that point, I was just like so upset because I didn't know what to do. Like that was the whole goal of doing, all these competitions. I want to compete internationally. Like I don't even care so much about the pro card as much as about the fact that I want to travel the world and compete in different places without having a need to go through some complicated process. And I'm gonna explain now why the process is complicated. So throughout the conversation, I kind of got two pieces of contradictory information. So at first I was told that even if the Diamond Cup would have happened, I would not be able to participate in it by doing the national that I decided to do because it's not part of the circuit. Like it's independent event and it's not part of the qualifying circuit, about which nobody told me, because when he sent me the list, he said I can do any national. Anyway, so, and the national that I should have done happened already, right after my first show. And I was considering doing it, but just because I was preparing for the international one later, I decided there is no point doing national one before. I would rather focus on getting perfect shape and win both national and international right after it. However, there was another pro qualifier about which nobody told me at all ever. I found it accidentally on IFBB website. That was happening on the weekend of the week when I was having that conversation with the federation. So I was asking them if they can make an exception and allow me to participate in that international one. And they said no. They said no because I haven't done the national. Full stop. And if I don't do the national, I cannot do international within the country. And if I have not done international within the country, which is a part of qualifying circuit, I cannot compete internationally. So even if I would do the one in November, that is national, and then the other one, which is the international, I would still not be eligible to compete in other countries on behalf of Mexico. So I cannot get my pro card by doing these competitions, and I cannot compete internationally, which is the second bummer, through these competitions. The question is, why am I doing them? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I still don't know if I'm doing them, to be honest. Well, actually, I know. The first one I'm not doing because after I already accepted the news about me not getting my pro card, I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna do it just to get an experience because, first of all, I'm curious to see who will be competing on the national level, even if it's a private event. And international one, that event is considered to be like of a good reputation here locally. Honestly, I have no clue how good or bad it is, but the venue seems better. They're renting hotel for it. But anyway, I decided to do them. Yeah, and later on, after that, guess what? I find out that the event in Mexico City from the 4th to 5th of November is canceled after I bought plane tickets. So that leaves me with the trip to Mexico City because I cannot get a refund for my tickets, which is, I guess, fine. I mean, when else would I go to Mexico City? I gotta consider that as a holiday, unplanned holiday. So yeah, thanks universe. I'm gonna go and hang out, see pyramids and everything. I don't know if I should do the international one. It just feels a little bit irrelevant, to be honest, because it doesn't lead me anywhere. It only gonna give me some experience, which is great, of course. But in terms of like my roadmap, it's just there, but it doesn't connect any of the dots. So, oh yeah, and what happened as well is that he told me that I should have done an event that happened in June after, to be able to qualify for the national that I missed. So, from the second part of information, it sounded like even if I would have went to that competition that I missed, I still would not be eligible because I haven't done the Riviera Maya in June. And honestly speaking, waiting until next June to do the Riviera Maya, to then wait for the autumn to do the Mexico again, I just don't have so much time, I don't have so much patience, and I don't have so much motivation for what for, like wait another year, like it's really not aligning with my goals and priorities. So I've been thinking about leaving Mexico for quite some time, to be honest. It's been a year since I haven't left, and there were reasons for me to be here, but now I feel that I kind of completed my karmic mission here. So I decided to leave Mexico in March. And what I also decided that I'm going to come back to the UK, even though I was born in Ukraine and kind of been raised there as a kid. I moved to the United Kingdom at the age of 15 and I spent 12 years living there. It's only the past 3 years I've been out. And luckily, I have an option, right? I don't have to represent Mexico because I am also British and I'm also Ukrainian. So if I really want to, I can choose any of the 3 countries. Well, actually, technically, I'm also Romanian, so I could choose out of 4 countries which country I want to represent. And honestly, that's pretty luxurious because not many people have such an option. So I'm pretty confident that in the UK, such misinformation will never happen. And in fact, I already know what is the roadmap there to get my pro card. So I'm going to come back to UK. I'm going to go back to my dear London, where I haven't been for 3 years. It's a crazy decision, honestly. I never thought I would come to this decision, but I'm actually really excited about it. I don't know why. Maybe 6 months later, I'm gonna decide that I want to run away again somewhere. But for now, that's what's gonna happen. And I'm going to compete in the UK, and I'm gonna represent the UK in all European competitions that I choose. While all that has been happening, I also discovered that there is a pro qualifier event that is happening in Colombia, in Cali, from 17th to 19th of November. It's a Mr. Universe Colombia. Pretty prestigious, to be honest. Very clear, all information is out there. I could compete there potentially, but for me to compete there in the amateur division in my category, I have to have a recommendation from my local federation, which Mexico refused to give. Because for Mexico to give me this recommendation, I would have to do the national and international, which they canceled. And the one that I missed, which I still would not be able to do because I haven't done the one in June. Anyway, I had a thought. Maybe if I register as a part of the UK Federation now and ask them nicely and kindly, they're gonna be kind enough to offer me the endorsement, which is pretty much just sending a letter. Currently, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to find out whether UK gonna give me the endorsement. And what I have decided for myself is that if the UK gives me the endorsement to compete representing the UK in Colombia, I will be doing the one here in Mexico just to warm up, to kind of get back into the, stage spirit. And even if I do some fuck ups, I do them here, that, I have time, I have a few days to improve. So when I go to Colombia, I'm in my 100% shape and form and confidence. But if the UK Federation says no, which is very possible because I've never competed there, so they have no idea about who I am and what type of athlete am I, then I have to make a big and tough decision. And honestly, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Because of all these situation, I kind of kept myself in a maintenance mode. So my form remains the same. And for the next part of this episode, I want to focus on telling you all how I've been doing that. So in terms of my shape comparison, honestly, I feel that there hasn't been any change. So you can see two videos. One is from now, which is the 20th of October, and the other from the 3rd. So there is literally no change, honestly. The only change that I personally see and feel is some improvement in my quad definition. Maybe it's my imagination, maybe it's not. I hope it's not, because I've been really focusing on my quads. I got a new split, so I'm really happy about it. My waist has been consistent. It's been 62 centimeters. My weight has been fluctuating between 55.85 to 56.35, sometimes, really depends. But overall, I would say if I were to draw the average, 56 kilograms, and I'm pretty happy with it, really, really happy. In terms of my posing, honestly speaking, I haven't trained or practiced my posing at all. At all. The plan for me was to, improve my eye walk, because I need to be ready to do the long version, but also a short version if I end up in a situation when they give me no time to perform the full eye walk. I haven't been doing that. I was supposed to be building up my static hold to 15 minutes every morning. That didn't happen either. Honestly, after my first cancellation, my motivation dropped. After my second cancellation, it dropped even more. And I just I just didn't see point in doing, all that posing practice. Like, I am maintaining my shape because I like it. Like, I really love how I look right now. I feel perfect. Yeah. And sometimes I do get some like body dysmorphia issues, which I'm gonna talk in a moment. But overall, I'm happy where I am physically. What I decided is that, if I decide that I'm gonna go and do this competition, I'm just gonna, really focus super hard and just like spend a week drilling my posing routine, and I'll be good. But for now, I'm just doing things that I feel that I enjoy doing. And that is actually the training. So training is the part that I love right now because I got a new split. I'm super excited and motivated to do it. It's a nine it's a 9 day split, and I train in the same manner that I used to. So I train 2 days and then a rest. And currently my split looks like this. So I have my glutes, I have my back, then I have my quads one, shoulders one, combined glutes and hams, combined chest and back, quads two, and shoulder two. So I have like 2 days focused just on my quads, and that makes me super, super, super excited. What I love about my new split, especially, is that it's knee safe. And I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I actually had a really bad injury of my right knee. And honestly, I don't even know what happened. Like one day, I wasn't able to do like lunges on the hack machine anymore. So I don't know, like it just been some pain that I was feeling when I was bending my knee too much, and it just wouldn't go. I never felt anything in my daily life. I would only feel pain when I was doing my lower body exercises. And I was getting really worried because I didn't know like if it's gonna affect my ability to train. So luckily now I have a new split, and this split is 100% knee safe. So everything that I do on my lower body doesn't affect my knees at all. I'm super happy because my knee has not been hurting since, and I can continue improving and building strong and beautiful quads. I also got back into the habit of creating mini workout videos where I kind of show all the exercise that I do per each day. So I already dropped one on my socials. You can find it here on YouTube in the shorts. You can find it on my Instagram and TikTok. And I will be dropping one video per week moving forward. So keep your eyes out if you want to be seeing more of my training videos. And the other thing that I want to mention is that it's not part of my current training plan, but I'm still doing it. First of all, I need to make sure that I do 10,000 steps per day. It does make me feel better psychologically, and also I do feel that it helps me to maintain my shape. I don't think that I would be able to, maintain the shape the way it is without hitting my daily activity. And I'm also doing 20 to 40 minutes cardio, depends on the day. If I have the weight training, I do 20 if I want to. I don't have to, but it's optional for me. The reason for that is that psychologically, it helps me to stay in a competition mode because I'm still considering going and doing that competition in Cancun on the 10th to 11th of November. It helps me to stay focused. So even if I decide to drop it, I'm not gonna regret because I managed to maintain this shape for that long. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive, I have to say. So let's talk about nutrition. So nutrition hasn't changed at all since last 2 weeks. I'm still on 130, 60, and 180 in terms of my protein, fats, and carbs. And honestly, it's fine. Like I could stay on this macro split for like a long time. Like it's really not bothering me because I'm able to eat fruits, I'm able to eat nuts, and I also had a cheat meal, which was great. It was pizza, it was a cake. I continue repeating the same thing, but I went to a different place. I could stay on this for a very long time as long as I would be able to go to restaurants and have like, dining social experience, because that's what I miss. I miss social eating. Like I never thought how much I like it I like eating, generally speaking. I'm a Taurus. And I want to eat dessert once a week. And I want to be able to cook because I actually like cooking. I like to come up with some, interesting vegan recipes and try them out. I want to have more flexibility in terms of choosing the products because the products that I have, they're fine. They're full of nutrients and they're tasty, but you can't really do much with them. So if I were allowed these corrections, I would be able to stay on this maintenance mode for a long time. However, there were two episodes, and one actually happened yesterday. So after I found out about my second cancellation, I got really loose with myself. I started like overeating fruits. I started overeating nuts. I started eating protein bars that I'm not supposed to be eating right now. I started eating dry fruits, which are completely useless, to be honest. They don't store any nutrients. They just like pure sugar. So what happened is that a few days back, I felt that I decided that I'm not gonna compete, and I stuffed myself with all those things in like completely crazy amount. Like I didn't even count. I usually always count what I eat. I weighed it and I measured it, but at that point I was like, I'm just gonna eat everything. I felt so, I don't know, sad and worried and heartbroken, and I just felt, like all the worst things possible, and I stuffed myself so much that I almost vomited, honestly. I felt so sick. I've been so bloated. I had to take medicines, and after I felt guilty, and I went and I did like 1.5 hours cardio, which was bizarre because it's just, torture covered with another torture. And if I were bulking, I wouldn't care. I was like, okay, whatever, I ate it, who cares? I'm bulking. But here, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like maintaining the shape for what? I don't even know for what. Like, if I had a clear understanding that yes, I am doing the Cancun show, I am doing the show in Colombia, I would not let myself that loose and I wouldn't do all that shit, right? But like psychologically, it's just messing with me. And that's the reason why I also had this, like yesterday, I had a very similar episode, but it was like tortilla chips. We went out with my mom to a restaurant and on Friday, because I wanted some social experience, but I still ate within my diet. Like I haven't eaten anything that is outside of my diet. And they brought her like tortilla chips for her guacamole, which she brought home for herself. And I just like lost my mind and I just munched on all of them, all of them. And then I was like, what the fuck did I just do? And I just couldn't stop because I really wanted to fulfill some psychological urge of being confused. I'm just being torn between, yes and no, yes and no. What am I doing? So for now, I just gotta have to wait to see what UK Federation says, and based on their answer, I'm gonna come up with some decision. My cat wants to say hello. He just wants his food. He doesn't want to say hello. Go. Also, this whole period made me realize how strong is body dysmorphia and how crazy I am about it actually. And it's real because look, my shape, my weight has been the same. I'm eating kind of the same. I'm training the same. Yet I wake up and I see myself fat sometimes. I feel myself fat, bloated, I don't know, like big. But then, I take a photo of myself or a video and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm actually in my best shape ever. So, because, there is no clear understanding of what am I doing, my mind starts playing tricks on me. And that's dangerous. So, whenever you find yourself thinking that, my advice, is just take a video or a photo of yourself. Don't look in a mirror. Mirror fucks up with you. When you see it externally, you can actually, understand better how you look, regardless of how you feel. And to conclude the psychological part, I just want to say that again, the 6-week break between show is a torture. Like, If you ever consider such a long break between shows, don't do it. Like, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Like, I am driving myself crazy because, I mean, I don't know about whether I'm doing the show or not, but like, honestly speaking, it's a very long time, and I will never do it again like that. So now I want to talk about beauty stuff. I briefly mentioned in the previous episode that I really got some problems with my skin, and only now, like, what, 28 days after the show, my skin is kind of back to normal. I got really bad, really bad acne all over my face. I had these spots which were, appearing, disappearing. I would do some treatments, they would come back. It was really bad. Partially because I think the brushes were dirty that the makeup artists were using. And that's it. Like, I never put foundation or like eyeshadows or glue for lashes. And I only had like two makeups really, like a test makeup and then the makeup on the day. And it had such a bad effect on me. So I don't think there is a solution to that. It's just something you have to accept. I also decided that I will not be competing in the wigs again because honestly, I've been so nervous about them not letting me come out on a stage in a wig or disqualifying me that I don't want to do it again. Like, the competition that I did was small. It was like, local Mexican state level. When I go further up the ladder, I don't want to risk like that. I don't want, to spend all this time, energy, and then to be disqualified for what, wearing a wig. Also, after, seeing myself with such a beautiful hair, I decided that I want to grow my natural hair. And I made another stupid mistake. I thought that for me to maximize my hair growth, I need to stop bleaching it and stop dyeing it. Even though before I managed to grow my hair while bleaching, I felt that, okay, for me to do it the best, I need to stop bleaching, stop dyeing, grow them really long, and then dye it blue once and for all. Because I really don't like my natural color. Like, I love my blue. That's my brand. That's my color. Anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna braid my hair and I'm gonna grow it in the braids because that's what some people do. But when I was making that decision, I didn't consider the fact that my hair is really thin. It's a thin European Slavic hair. It's very different to, South American and African hair, which is, really strong and durable and tough and can handle a lot of tension and pressure. My hair is like, bing! So, you probably remember in the previous episode, I had these super cool braids. Well, they only lasted for a week because I ended up getting a rash. I got these red spots all over my head, which were itching. They were super tense. My head was hurting for like 5 days after braiding them, and then this rash started and it wouldn't disappear. It would only get worse, worse, and worse. So after being with the braids for 8 days, I took them off. And when I took them off, I had so much hair that came out of my head, and I was just like heartbroken because even after that, my hair was like falling out for maybe a week. I feel like now it's more or less normal in terms of like hair not falling out when I touch it. Like, I feel like it's recovered, the red spots are gone. I'm wearing these things for a reason because I actually have like gaps, empty gaps on my scalp that you can see through. You can see how bald I got after that hair loss situation. So, yeah. But on the other side, I'm super happy that I am able to have colorful nails again. Now I feel like I actually do have nails because having that pale milk color, like my hands were naked because I always have bright nails. That summarizes my beauty stuff that I wanted to share with you. And on the other note, there is another update. I decided to become a certified coach with the specialty in strength, conditioning, and bodybuilding. And I am already on my course. So I signed up for this online course. I'm already on my second module. I'm pretty hyped and pretty excited. I'm gonna be certified coach. And in the meantime, if you wanna start training with me, you can do so by filling out the link below in the description of this video. And I will make sure to get back to you in no time. Oh yes, before we wrap up, I also started to take new supplements. So I'm gonna drop the links where you can order ones for yourself. I'm taking new BCAs. I pretty like this brand. I chose these particular ones because of their compound list. I pretty like what they put inside. I got new glutamine and I got also new arginine. Arginine. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Excuse my pronunciation. So anyway, these are the supplements that I'm taking now to help me build more muscle mass, lean muscle mass while I'm in my weird ass maintenance mode. I still don't know what I'm gonna do, but I hope I will make the right decision for myself. So make sure to click that like and subscribe button to find out about what I will decide in the next episode that will come out in 2 weeks from now. So hope you enjoyed it and make sure to stay fit. Bye. And I'm back. I forgot to tell you about something really exciting as well. So I got a new tattoo. It's a champion's tattoo. It's my trophy. Maybe, okay, it's a bit cheesy. Some people may even think it's lame. Honestly, I don't care. I made it for myself. A lot of my tattoos, they symbolize different events that happen in my life, and I did it not just because, I won my first place. That's not about that. Partially it is, but mainly to, inspire and remind me that I am a champion. I'm a champion in anything that I set my mind to. That it's a reminder to not give up, right? It's a reminder to go to the end, to go to my goal. Do my reps at the gym, right? Finish the job application, right? Or commit on a promise, like anything, whether it's small or big, whether it's related to sports or not, right? Like, it's a reminder to myself that I can win. I can win if I put my mind to, if I put my commitment, if I put my dedication. I will be that winner. I will be the champion, that I'm only taking the victory because the only enemy in this battle is me. And that is my reminder. But also it looks super cool when I'm at the gym and working out.